Yo, Miami. Is my mic on? What's going on? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, really long story short, for those that have not been living on this planet recently, there was a Bitcoin car that raced at the Indianapolis 500. Yeah. It wasn't the Coinbase car, it wasn't the Strike car, it wasn't the Ethereum Max car. Fuck that. Fuck that. No one wants to cheer for that. This was about supporting something that these gentlemen believe deeply in. They've grown up and raced and trained their whole life for the Indy 500. And this year, inspired by this community, inspired by all of you, inspired by this asset class, they wanted to race for human freedom. And Ed called me and said, I think I want to forfeit sponsors. I want to go all in. I'll split 70-30 and give to open source development. I'm not in this to make money. I want to leave a legacy. And so, yeah. And so the Indy 500 is cool, but what he started and what I think is going to come after is even cooler. And so that's the context of what's going on, and today's all about these gentlemen to my left and congratulating them on, I think, a truly phenomenal achievement, a cultural phenomenon, and what they did in their sport is the first of what I hope to be many. And so I'm going to first introduce Connor Daly. So Connor led the most laps in the Indy 500. He raced the Air Force car, and if it wasn't for an unfortunate accident of another vehicle where a tire hit his front tail, he had a real chance of winning that race. And he finished 13th, so let's give it up for Connor. Next, I got Rocket Renus, man. This guy drove the 21 car, the Bitcoin car. IndyCar Rookie of the Year, youngest to qualify in the front row at third. I was standing with fucking Saquon Barkley for the national anthem next to the PNC Bank car and had Russell Okung asking him how much Bitcoin they want to take that fiat cuckbuck stuff off their car. And that's because this guy qualified. How many laps did he lead in the beginning of that race? We all couldn't believe seeing a Bitcoin logo on national television. And he finished 8th. It was a tough last pit. There's nothing you could do about it. That's how the sport is played. But let's give it up for Rocket Renus, man. Congratulations, buddy. And then this one, I may get a little emotional, this one. Ed is a legend of his sport. Ed's the only owner-driver in the IndyCar series. Allowing me to be a part of this, Ed, and what you've done for Bitcoin, it's unbelievable. You're so humble, you're so generous, and you're supporting what I believe is the most important project we got going for humanity, man. And look at this crowd. You're a rock star, man. You're a rock star. And Ed's a Bitcoin maximalist. He's a hodler of last resort. He's got the laser eyes on Twitter. And he's the one that called this shot. I didn't call Ed. Ed called me. And he deserves all the credit in the world. And I think Ed will be looked back on in history for what he did for Bitcoin, what he's done for IndyCar. He's totally changed the sport. And so I really need you guys to give Ed a round of applause. He's a legend. So I'm going to run through these super quick. You may know some, but again, most watch Indy 500 in the last 5 years. Want to know why? Look around. That's why. Bitcoin's a cultural phenomenon. It exceeds race, culture, borders. I had Salvadorian surf instructors streaming the Indy 500. They don't even know what the hell was going on. They just saw a Bitcoin logo on the screen. Every single driver was jealous of the Bitcoin car. Again, human freedom, financial inclusivity, savings technology, and we won that race before it started. I think if you guys were to race it again, we had some really unfortunate events, we'd win that damn thing. But what we accomplished outside of the sport, I think, is more impactful. And so we ended up raising 7 figures. We raised $1.5 million from this community. Yeah, what? Yeah. Which is unbelievable. And again, this is going to open source development. How many pennies did I make on this? Fucking 0. How many did these guys to my left? 0. This is about a greater purpose and a greater cause and why we're all here. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and we got to keep these engineers independent and preserving our ability to act self-sovereignly as individuals with money. Open source software is tremendously important in society. And it's important that we fund it and money where our mouth is, and that's exactly what these guys did, and that's exactly what this community did. That's a lot of money. So they want to keep racing the Bitcoin car. If we can muster up enough, they're racing in Detroit next weekend, and we're going to do the whole damn thing over. So continue to donate. Same rules apply. If you need the tax breaks, you give me a call. And we're going to keep fundraising. If you believe in open source development, you believe in the effort that these guys are putting on national television and for their sport, this is where you donate, and you give me a call if you're confused. After this, there are instructions all over the conference. We're auctioning off all of the gear. This is about the coolest thing I've ever put on my 5'8", 150-pound body. It's unbelievable. So the helmet, you can have no one sign it, anyone sign it. Saquon said he'd sign it, I'll sign it, these guys will sign it. We're auctioning the helmet, the fire suit, the cruise shirts, the garage banner. Someone already bought the car, or else I'd auction that, and the garage sign. So be there or be square, and yeah, come get this gear. This is a historical moment. I really do think so. Oop, wrong button. And for open source funding, so this is the important part. So I just got off the phone with a Bitcoin Core contributor. He did not want to be publicly announced, at least right now, but the money's already going to some of the top contributors to the Bitcoin Core open source project. I firmly believe that some of those individuals need to remain independent, and this is a perfect way for us to achieve that. And then some of the institutions and corporations we're working with, Square Crypto, Human Rights Foundation, OpenSats, and there's going to be much more announced. And the thing I want to say about this is we're doing it all in the open. It will all be transparent. You'll be able to track every single Satoshi and where it goes, and we owe that to you all. And so that's my update now, and we'll continue to update as it goes. And now I just got to say thanks. So these are some of the bigger early donors: Ross Stevens, Michael Saylor, Don Wilson, and Chris, CMT, David, FTX, Jeff, Robbie Gutman. I'm going to skip that loser. Bill and Brooke Mallers, Circle, Russ, and Saquon. I sat down with Ross at dinner right after Ed called me, and I was halfway through the story of what I think this could look like, and he put a $250,000 check down over his sushi. And that's what this community is all about. Yeah, that's what this is about. So I really want to thank those guys. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It's a really wholesome feeling. I think these guys feel the same, that you get to do what you love, play the sport that you've trained your whole life for, and race for a purpose that's human freedom and financial inclusivity, and arguably the most important project humanity's come across, at least since I've been alive. So I really appreciate that. And then this community. You guys, man. We had 2,000 individual donations from all over the world. So this monetary network worked flawlessly. We had donations of a penny. We had donations of $250,000. There were no chargebacks. There were no fees. It settled instantly. The money, the physical digital commodity, traveled across a border and achieved final clearance in a distributed network, and it worked like magic. So not only did we showcase their talent and put the Bitcoin car in everyone's face while PNC ran out of gas, but we showcase what this asset's capable of. There's a QR code on the car, and this community showed up. This community of independent individuals that remain anonymous together raised 6 figures, and that's special. And so I'm proud of this community, and I'm deeply thankful. What we pulled off, the other drivers are like, what the hell? There's just money flying in everywhere, money flying from Australia straight into your car as you're racing around the track. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we're contributing to what I think is one of the greater causes on the planet, and that's supporting these developers. And so before we leave, let's give it up for these guys one more time.